Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into life, love, and leveling up. Today, we're talking about something real, something every guy needs to hear at some point: what to do when a woman pulls away.
Yeah.
You know that moment when the vibe shifts, the text slow down, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Spoiler alert, it's not always about you. So grab a seat, maybe a snack, and let's break this down with some straight up wisdom inspired by the one and only Steve Harvey. This is look here. When a woman pulls away, stay calm and focus on you. Let's get into it. First off, let's set the stage. You're in a relationship, or maybe you're just vibing with someone special. Things are going great, late night talks, laughing till your sides hurt, maybe even planning a future together. Then out of nowhere, she starts acting different. The energy's off. She's not as responsive, not as engaged. Maybe she's canceling plans or giving you one-word answers. Your gut's telling you something's up, and your brain's going a million miles an hour trying to figure it out. Sound familiar? If you're nodding right now, stick with me, because we're about to unpack this with clarity, confidence, and a whole lot of game. Now, before we dive into the what to do, let's talk about the why. Why does a woman pull away? Because understanding the root of this behavior is the key to handling it like a pro. See, when a woman pulls away, it's not always because she's done with you. Sometimes it's her processing her own emotions. Maybe she's feeling overwhelmed. Maybe she's got stuff going on in her life, work, family, personal goals that's pulling her focus. Or maybe, just maybe, she's testing the waters to see how you'll react. Yeah, I said it. Women sometimes pull back to gauge your strength, your confidence, your independence. It's not always conscious, but it's real. Steve Harvey talks about this all the time. Relationships are a dance. New York. And sometimes one partner steps back to see if the other can keep the rhythm. When a woman pulls away, it's like she's saying, show me who you are when I'm not all in. And here's where most guys mess up. They panic. They start chasing, texting too much, asking, what's wrong? Did I do something? That's a one-way ticket to pushing her further away. Instead, you've got to stay calm, cool, and collected. That's the energy we're bringing today. So let's get to the first big piece of advice. Don't chase. I repeat, do not chase. When a woman pulls away, your instinct might be to double down, send more texts, call her out, or try to fix whatever's going on. But here's the truth: chasing makes you look desperate, and desperation is the opposite of attraction. Steve Harvey says it best. A man's power is in his presence. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to beg for her attention. You don't need to blow up her phone or show up at her virtual doorstep with a dozen roses and a puppy dog face. You stay in your power by staying in your lane. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're at a party and you're talking to someone who's super into you at first. They're laughing, engaging, all in. Then they step away to talk to someone else. Do you follow them around the room, tugging at their sleeve, begging them to come back? Nah, you don't. You keep enjoying the party, talking to other people, having a good time. That's the vibe you need when a woman pulls away. You don't stop your life to chase her. You keep living your life, and you let her come back to you when she's ready. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if she doesn't come back? That's a valid fear. But here's the thing: chasing her won't guarantee she comes back either. In fact, he often does the opposite. When you give her space, you're showing her you're not dependent on her for your happiness. That's attractive. That's the kind of energy that makes her think, whoa, this guy's got his own thing going on. Steve Harvey always says, a woman loves a man with a plan. Your plan can't be fix her mood or make her stay. Your plan has to be about you, your growth, your goals, your grind. So step one, give her space. Doesn't mean you ghost her or play games. It means you match her energy. If she's texting less, you text less. If she's not initiating plans, you don't either. You mirror her level of investment while still being respectful and kind. This isn't about being cold. It's about being confident. You're saying, I'm good with or without you, but I'd love to have you around if you're in. That's the energy that keeps her curious. Let's talk about why this works. When you give a woman space, you're giving her the chance to miss you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? If you're always in her face, she doesn't get the chance to feel your absence. She doesn't get to wonder, what's he up to? Or why isn't he blowing up my phone? That curiosity is powerful. It's what pulls her back in. But if you're constantly chasing, you're robbing her of that opportunity. You're also robbing yourself of the chance to focus on what really matters you. Which brings us to the next big point, focus on you. When a woman pulls away, it's not just an opportunity to give her space, it's an opportunity to level up. Steve Harvey's got this golden rule: a man's job is to provide, protect, and profess. But you can't do any of that if you're not solid in yourself. So when she pulls back, you double down on your own growth. Hit the gym, pick up that hobby you've been neglecting, dive into your work, or learn a new skill. Whatever it is, make it something that makes you feel alive, confident, and in control. Why is this so important? Because when you focus on you, you're building your value. You're becoming the kind of man who doesn't just attract a woman, you keep her intrigued. A woman wants to be with a man who's going somewhere, who's got purpose. If you're sitting around moping, waiting for her to fix your mood, you're not showing her a man with purpose. You're showing her a man who's lost without her, and that's not the vibe. Let's break this down with a real world example. Say you're dating someone and she starts pulling away. Maybe she's stressed about her job, or maybe she's just not sure about the relationship. Instead of texting her every hour asking, "Are we good?" you take a step back. You hit the gym, start working on that side hustle you've been talking about. Maybe even plan a weekend trip with your boys. You're not ignoring her. You're just not making her the center of your universe. When she sees you thriving, when she sees you living your life with confidence, it flips the script. She starts wondering, why is he so unbothered? What's he got going on? That's when she starts leaning back in. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, your emotions. Because let's be real, when a woman pulls away, it hurts. It can make you feel insecure, rejected, even angry. And that's okay. You're human. But here's where Steve Harvey's wisdom kicks in. Ooh, your feelings are valid, but your reaction is your responsibility. You can feel whatever you feel, but you don't let those feelings drive the bus. You don't lash out. You don't beg. You don't try to manipulate her into coming back. You process your emotions in a healthy way. Talk to a friend, journal, hit the punching bag, whatever works for you. But you keep your cool when it comes to her. This is where a lot of guys go wrong. They let their emotions take over, and they start acting out of character. Maybe you send along emotional text pouring your heart out. Maybe you call her out for being distant, or worse, maybe you try to make her jealous by posting with other people on social media. None of that works, my friend. It just makes you look like you're trying too hard. Instead, you stay calm. You stay in your power. You show her you're a man who can handle his emotions without losing his edge. Let's talk about communication for a second, because giving her space doesn't mean you never talk about what's going on. If you feel like her pulling away is becoming a pattern, or if it's really messing with your head, it's okay to have a conversation. But here's the key: you approach it from a place of strength, not weakness. You don't say, "Why are you being so distant? Don't you care about me?" That's weak energy. Instead, you say something like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been super busy lately. Everything good on your end?" That's calm, confident, and opens the door for her to share without putting her on the defensive. If she opens up, listen. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to argue. Just listen. Sometimes a woman pulls away because she needs to feel heard. Other times, she might not even know why she's pulling away. Either way, your job is to stay grounded. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to show her you're not rattled. That's the kind of strength that makes her feel safe, even if she's not ready to admit it. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. When a woman pulls away, it's not just about her. It's about the dynamic between you. Relationships are built on mutual respect, mutual effort, and mutual attraction. If she's pulling away consistently, it might be a sign that something's off in the dynamic. Maybe you've been too available, too predictable. Maybe you've been putting her on a pedestal instead of treating her like an equal. Or maybe she's just not in a place to meet you halfway. Whatever it is, you've got to be honest with yourself about whether this relationship is serving you. Steve Harvey's got this saying, you can't change a woman, but you can change your approach. If she's pulling away because she's not ready for what you're offering, that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to decide what you're willing to accept. Are you okay with a relationship where you're always chasing? Are you okay with someone who's not matching your energy? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. And if the answer is no, then you've got to be willing to walk away. Not out of spite, not to teach her a lesson, but because you respect yourself enough to know your worth. That's the core of this whole thing, knowing your worth. When a woman pulls away, it's a test not just of how you handle her, but of how you handle yourself. Are you going to fall apart? Or are you going to stand tall? Are you going to chase her validation? Or are you going to validate yourself? That's the difference between a man who gets played and a man who gets respect. So as we wrap up this first part, let me leave you with this. When a woman pulls away, it's not the end of the world. It's an opportunity. An opportunity to show her you're a man of value, a man of strength, a man who doesn't need her to complete him. You give her space, you focus on you, and you keep your cool. That's the formula. That's how you stay in your power. And that's how you set the stage for her to come back, or for you to move forward with confidence, whether she's in the picture or not. All right, y'all, that's part one of Look Here, when a woman pulls away. Stay calm and focus on you. We're just getting started. In part two, we're going to dive even deeper, how to rebuild attraction, how to set boundaries, and how to know when it's time to let go. If you're feeling this, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss the next part. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep being the best version of you. Welcome back, everybody. If you're here, you've already caught part one of Look Here, when a woman pulls away. Stay calm and focus on you, and you're ready to dive deeper. If you haven't seen part one, pause this, go check it out, because we're building on that foundation. In part one, we talked about why a woman might pull away, why chasing is the worst move you can make, and how to stay calm and focus on yourself. Now, we're taking it to the next level. We're talking about how to rebuild attraction, set healthy boundaries, and know when it's time to walk away, all while keeping your confidence and your power intact. This is straight up Steve Harvey inspired wisdom, tailored for you to keep your audience hooked and your game strong. Let's jump in. So, you've given her space. You're focusing on you, hitting the gym, grinding on your goals, living your best life. But now you're wondering, how do I bring that spark back? How do I get her to lean in again? Here's the deal: rebuilding attraction isn't about tricks or games. It's about being the kind of man she can't help but gravitate toward. Steve Harvey always says, a woman wants a man with a vision. When you're living with purpose, when you're moving forward with confidence, that's magnetic. So let's break down how to rebuild that attraction without losing yourself in the process. First up, let's talk about the power of mystery. When a woman pulls away, one of the biggest mistakes guys make is becoming an open book, spilling every thought, every feeling, trying to prove they're worth her time. But here's the truth, New York. A little mystery goes a long way. When you're not constantly available, when you're not oversharing every detail of your life, you give her room to wonder about you. That wonder is what reignites her curiosity. Think about it. When you first met her, you didn't lay out your entire life story on day one. You revealed yourself over time. And that slow burn built the attraction. You've got to get back to that. How do you do this? Simple, be intentional with your time and attention. If you're texting, keep it light, playful, and purposeful. Don't send long paragraphs or double text. If you're hanging out, focus on quality over quantity. Make the moments you share memorable. Maybe it's a quick coffee date where you're fully present, cracking jokes, making her laugh, and then you bounce to handle your business. You're not lingering, not clinging. You're showing her you've got a life, and she's lucky to be a part of it. That's the vibe that pulls her back in. Now, let's talk about confidence, because this is the backbone of attraction. When a woman pulls away, it can shake your confidence. You might start questioning yourself, am I enough? Did I mess this up? Stop right there. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being secure in who you are, flaws and all. Steve Harvey's got this gem. A man who knows his worth doesn't beg for love. When you're confident, you don't need her validation to feel good about yourself. You know you're a catch, and you act like it. So how do you show that confidence? It's in the way you carry yourself. It's in your posture, your eye contact, the way you speak with conviction. It's in the way you don't flinch when she's distant. If you're out together and she's acting a little cold, don't let it rattle you. Keep your energy high. Engage with the world around you. Talk to other people. Have fun. She'll notice. She'll see you're not dependent on her mood to enjoy your life. That's attractive. That's the kind of energy that makes her think, okay, this guy's got something special. Next up, let's talk about communication, because at some point you're going to need to address the distance. But here's the key. You don't do it from a place of neediness or desperation. You do it from a place of strength and clarity. If her pulling away is becoming a pattern, or if it's affecting your peace, it's time to have a real conversation. But this isn't about calling her out or making her feel guilty. It's about setting the tone for how you expect to be treated. Here's how you approach it. You find a calm moment, no distractions, no heated emotions. You say something like, hey, I've noticed you've been needing some space lately, and I respect that. But I'm all about building something real, and I want to make sure we're on the same page. What's going on with you? This does a few things. First, it shows you're observant. You see what's happening. Second, it shows you're not rattled. You're addressing it calmly. Third, it puts the ball in her court. You're not accusing her. You're not begging for answers. You're inviting her to share while making it clear you value yourself in the relationship. If she opens up, listen without judgment. Maybe she's dealing with stress. Maybe she's unsure about her feelings, or maybe she's just not ready for the level of commitment you're offering. Whatever it is, don't try to fix it on the spot. Your job is to hear her out, process it, and decide what's best for you. If she's vague or avoids the conversation, that's information too. It tells you where her head's at, and that brings us to the next big piece, setting boundaries. Boundaries are your superpower. They're how you protect your peace and communicate your worth. When a woman pulls away, it's a chance to show her what you're about and what you won't tolerate. Steve Harvey says, a man without standards is a man without respect. If she's consistently distant, unresponsive, or disrespectful, you've got to draw a line. Not to punish her, but to honor yourself. Let's say she's been flaky, canceling plans last minute, leaving you on read for days. You don't blow up or ghost her. You address it directly, but calmly. You might say, hey, I'm all about making this work, but I need consistency. If you're not in a place to show up, let's talk about what we're doing here. This isn't an ultimatum. It's a statement of your standards. You're saying, I'm here for something real, and I expect the same energy in return. If she can't meet you there, that's her choice, but you're not sticking around for half-hearted effort. Setting boundaries also means being clear about what you want. If you're looking for a serious relationship, don't settle for someone who's only giving you crumbs. If you're okay with something casual, that's fine too. But be honest with yourself about it. The point is, you're not bending over backwards to keep someone who's not meeting you halfway. That's how you lose yourself, and that's how you lose her respect. Now, let's get real about the toughest part, knowing when to walk away. Because sometimes, no matter how much space you give her, no matter how much you focus on yourself, she's not coming back. And that's okay. Not every connection is meant to last forever. Steve Harvey's got this one locked down, Dave. You can't force someone to see your value. If she's pulling away because she's not ready, not interested, or just not the right fit, you've got to be willing to let her go. This doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're not enough. It means you're making room for someone who's ready to meet you where you're at. Walking away is hard, but it's powerful. It's you saying, I love myself enough to not settle for less than I deserve. And here's the kicker sometimes. Walking away is what brings her back. Not because you're playing games, but because you're showing her you're a man of value who won't chase someone who's not all in. How do you know when it's time to walk away? Ask yourself these questions. Is she consistently disrespecting your time or energy? Is she unwilling to communicate or meet you halfway? Are you feeling drained instead of uplifted by this connection? If the answer to any of these is yes, it's time to have an honest look at the situation. You don't need to make a big scene or burn bridges. You can simply say, I've enjoyed our time together, but I'm looking for something different. I wish you the best. Clean, clear, and respectful. Let's talk about what happens after you walk away. You don't sit around sulking or stalking her social media. You keep moving forward. You keep building your life, your career, your passions, your friendships. You keep meeting new people, not to replace.